Good morning, folks. Happy Saturday to you. And also, in case you didn't know, today is the 65th birthday of the Corvette. June 30th, 1953, the first Corvette rolled off the assembly line in Flint, Michigan, I believe. But anyway, that's not what this video is about. Today, I've got a couple things I'm doing on the Envoy. And the reason I'm driving is I'm going to try and give you a listen to the wheel bearing hub, which I believe is the front right, the passenger side. And again, hopefully when we're driving down the road you'll be able to hear it, but you know, to me it sounds like I'm driving on big 35s down the highway, and it's got a real bad, you know, road noise, grinding noise almost. And hopefully when we get on the road here you'll be able to hear it. And what I've been able to do, or what you can do to kind of pinpoint which side the noise is coming from, is just turn your wheel back and forth, left and right, and the weight shift of the vehicle will take the weight off of one side, you know, and unload that wheel bearing essentially, you know, and take the stress off of that wheel bearing hub, so the noise theoretically will go away. So anyway, I'm getting up to speed here. Normally about 45 is when that wheel bearing hub really starts to whine. I don't know if it's the frequency that's just right, but let me give you a listen, see if you can tell. I don't know if you can hear that whining noise. It kind of sounds like I've got big mud tires on. Yeah, so going around the left-hand turn there, you know, the car is loading up on the right side, and then kind of making that left-hand turn, you know, it unloads the right side. So I don't know if you could tell right there that when I went around that right-hand turn, the noise kind of stopped. And you know, that's because the weight shift of the car was unloading the right side. But then of course, as you go around a left-hand corner, you know, the weight shifts to the right side of the car and puts more stress on that wheel bearing hub. So that's what I'm going to repair today. That's what I'm going to replace, is actually both front wheel bearings. And I've already replaced them once. Again, I'm at about 262,000 miles on the car, and I'll have to go back and look at my maintenance logbook to see when I replaced those last, but it wasn't too terribly long, and I kind of cheaped out on the first pair. They were about 100 and, I don't know, maybe 130 bucks for the pair the first time I replaced them. This time I kind of cheaped out on them again. I bought a pair from 1A Auto, I believe, and I'll put a link down below to the actual wheel bearing hubs that I'm going to be putting on my car. But the cool thing about them, and you know, we'll see how you know, how worthwhile they are, is they come with a lifetime warranty, you know, to the original purchaser, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, they came with a lifetime warranty, and I want to say they were like 90 bucks for the pair. So they're obviously not GM, you know, they're not OEM. And you know, the OEM wheel bearing hubs, I believe, are, gosh, probably in the maybe $150 to $200 range per side, per wheel bearing hub. So you know, with 262,000 miles on my car, you know, didn't really want to spend 400 bucks on wheel bearings. Plus with lifetime warranty, kind of gives me a peace of mind, you know, with kind of the understanding that I'll probably have to replace them again maybe in a couple years. So anyway, I'm gonna run in here to the gas station, grab a drink, and then we'll be back at it. Alright folks, let me show you what I've got here. So I've got everything lined up that I'm going to use parts wise, and I'm not going to go through a list of tools. You know, there are plenty of videos online. I think it's, you know, if you're kind of at this point putting parts on your car, you know, the ball joints, tie rods, bearing hubs, things like that, I'm assuming you probably know which tools you're going to need and have them in your arsenal. The only tool I did not have was this piece. This is the ball joint removal tool that I had to rent from Advance Auto. You know, it was $245 as a deposit, but you get all that back when you return it, so no big deal. So anyway, I'm going to do each one of these projects individually, or I'm going to make individual videos for them, but for the sake of time, I'm going to just run through all of these parts. So these are the wheel bearing hubs that I picked up from 1A Auto. They are TRQ brand, and again, these come with a lifetime warranty. There's the part number there. And again, these were, if I'm not mistaken, about 90 bucks for the pair. And as you can see, it comes with the wheel speed sensor. I'm going to leave that on. Alright, and then second and third, I've got my outer tie rods that I'm going to replace, and I'll show you what I'm seeing and how I diagnosed a bad tie rod. And then also the new ball joints, I'm going to replace those as well. Let's see, tie rods, both the tie rod and the ball joints I got from Napa Auto Parts. These are their premium brand, or premium flavor. So there's the part number for the tie rod. Okay. Actually, there are two different part numbers, one for the right, one for the left. So there's the second one there, 269-3224 and 3223. So those are the tie rods, and they come with a grease zerk fitting and also a locking nut. They do not come with castle nuts on the studs there, you know, where you've got to put a cotter pin through to hold it in, but you know, you just torque those down to spec. That's what the OEM has on it, you know, and that'll be fine. And then the third project I've got is the upper ball joints. Again, these also come from Napa. This is also their premium line. There's the part number for those. So these are made in USA, which I like. The tie rods are made in Taiwan, and these guys made in China, as Trump would say. So anyway, those are the three components that I'm going to be replacing today. And as I said, I'm going to do individual videos for each one of these. But anyway, let's get started. So 18mm, get your caliper bolts off there. Alright, so before you pull the wheel bearing off, I would take the wheel speed sensor off right here, which attaches to the front side of the wheel bearing hub. That way, you know, if it falls down or, you know, slips out of your hand, it doesn't pull on it and rip it out. Alright, then to get the wheel bearing hub off, We got 3 18mm bolts on the back side. We got one here, one on the top, and then one over here on the right side, or the rear. Alright, so first wheel bearing is out, and I just noticed something on this thing. Let me spin it around for you and listen. I don't know if you can hear that, but sounds like there's some bearings loose or something inside. And it just doesn't sound right. So I think we isolated that bearing as the bad one. But again, we're going to replace them both while we're at it.
Think of the difference between 20 years ago when you had environmental.
That's right there.
And now
Yeah. Let me put this on and then I'll help you get it out.
you see what's happening. Even those who were speaking out about climate chaos and
Yeah.
wanted to take this on. We had
Oh no.
who wanted to take it on. Once the Coast Guard in 2014 decided to invest hundreds of millions of dollars. These are the costs of change in the grand scheme of things.
So just get these 3 bolts put on. These bolts, the mounting bolts, get torqued down to 77 foot-pounds. I've got the mounting bolts on now. Those are all torqued down to 77 foot-pounds. You know, don't forget your center nut if you've got a 4-wheel drive. This will get torqued down to the same as your wheels, which is 103 foot-pounds, I believe. And now just put the little metal gasket on here for the wheel speed sensor. Go ahead and install that. Allen bolt that goes in there. Okay. There we go. Alright, and that's all set. And again, I'll just get these wires cleaned up once I get everything else buttoned up. And don't forget to plug in the wheel speed sensor. So that's the end. That's all I'm going to do. That's all I'm going to show you there for the wheel bearing. Again, it's, you know, pretty straightforward procedure. You know, I'm doing a couple other things here, doing the upper ball joint as well as the tie rod, but I'll show those in a couple other videos and I'll have links to those down below. So anyway, hope that was helpful to show you how to change your wheel bearing hubs on your GMC Envoy, Trailblazer, and all the other models with the same body style. Hope y'all have a great Sunday and we'll see y'all soon.